here. Hi, Metaphysical Mama here. How is everybody? Car's pulling up. Happy almost full wolf blood super moon eclipse. The Cancer, it's like coming out of Cancer into Leo, right at 0 degrees is the eclipse. So it's going to have lots of Cancer energy. That's what it's this eclipse is going to be bringing in. I just took a walk and I got to see some. I look like I'm kind of blurry. Sorry about the hand. Let's talk to the hand. I just took a walk to the store. It's freezing out where I am. Doesn't really bother me much. I kind of like it, but I got to see some meteor showers, which was pretty cool. And the moon is huge and glowing, and just what energy out there. Oh, I love it. So I hope you guys are ready for a wild ride. This is like, it's reminding me, I've only been to Disney once, Disney World. And I went on Space Mountain with my mother-in-law and my daughter, and I'll never forget my mother-in-law the whole time. It was like, had her eyes closed. Oh my goodness. And that's kind of like what this is reminding me of. I keep getting that vision of Space Mountain, because it's like, well, the mountain's about to get crumbled. The mountains with foundations that are unstably built, or built on false representations and stuffs like that. All those kind of mountains are about to go boom. And there's going to be some shakeups. So those are the messages I'm getting. And I myself, I did a whole long video I recorded before on my iPhone, and it wouldn't let me upload it now. So I don't know if my, hopefully sound and everything is working on this, but whatever. The obstacles. Never ending. So, oh, you know, too, I want to share. My daughter, Brianna, sent me the most beautiful song. Oh, made me cry. Who is it? Hold on. I wish I was. So my daughter, I thought she was going to maybe join the live chat, but she has to get up for work super early, duper early in the morning. What is this song? Janie Aiko, Promises. I don't know if you can hear it. I'll play a second of it. Let's see if it'll let me. It's called Promises, and the album is called Sold Out. Here, I'll put it in the, I don't know if you can, I don't want to blast the. I've been coming home late night. I've been sleeping past daylight. I'm waking up, you're not by my side. Baby, that ain't right. I wanna be there with you. Really? Know that don't be missing you. Everything I do for you, and I really do adore you. You're getting so big now. I don't want to get in trouble for any copyright or nothing, but you were such a star. You know that you are. I think if we talk over it a little, it's not copyright.
to know that anything should happen. Right. Anything should happen. Cause anything could, if anything should happen. Know that you'll be alright. Know that you'll be alright. Just promise you'll be alright. Promise you'll be alright. If anything alright. Promise I'll be alright. Promise I'll be alright. Promise I'll be alright. Anything should happen. Promise I'll be alright. Promise I'll be alright. Promise I'll be alright.
See this string? Funny, it matches my clothes and everything. That is so sweet. So this string, right, it's like quantum entanglement. We're cutting a lot of cords, but there's some promises that there's things that we can't ever be disconnected. Ever, never, ever, ever, ever. I was saying in the video that did not upload yet that, you know, nature always, always comes back to its natural source, period. It just is. And divine law conquers even universal law, which universal law is pretty thorough. So, but most, you know, we're all, you know, this is like age of grace, right? We have to allow ourselves to go through, truly go through the emotional and mental and spiritual and all else, all the baggage that we've been lugging around with us in our vessels. You know, every thought, every feeling, every intention, every action, every reaction, every hesitation and avoidance, all carry weight, right? All carry imperial weight, which that's like going through the halls of a mentee and having your heart weighed by an ostrich feather in the halls of Osiris to get passed through. That's the weight that it's you know, referring to what you, okay, this is why people's, as, right, we all have free will. So we can't blame, if somebody decided, which we all have, so nobody can say they've never danced with the said devil, okay? Because most are still dancing with said devil now. And Satan, because it's a, you know, they are deities and entities that take up these, that first started out as these individuals, but were elements with consciousness first, before being human in this form that we're in now. So there's a lot of misguidance as far as, you know, what things actually mean, the definition. And there's so many multiple definitions. That's why it's not one singular solid point that that's what it is. It is that, whatever that is. But it is also, right, that's where the metaphysics comes in, and because it's to apply all of the stories of, say, old and present, because we have movies coming out that bring the messages, we have each commercials, Just think children's toys, books, stories, the things that you see that come out. You know, everybody's so mad about all the secrets that are kept, but most things really are done right in our faces. It's just we choose to be more busy and stuck in the ego self mind. I have to do this. I have to go there. I told this one I was going to do that. You don't understand. I have these bills to pay. You have to eat, and right, basic necessities. You got to eat and have food and shelter and whatever, right? It's like, yes. However, we do, but it's the old, I'm going to say old, or the previous operation that we're coming out of, because it's, right, it's like a program takes time to defragment, right, and do your disk cleanup. Same with us. Before we can, you know, download the new app or the new navigation system in order to implement that and then have that incorporated and running smoothly. It takes time and space, right, to shed, whether we want to say shedding our skin, you know, defragmenting, releasing what no longer serves us, you know, all of those terms, again, multiverses, right? Because multiverse is like, oh, multiverse, but also multiverses, right? Writings in multiple forms. So we have all this availability to explore by staying present in our current moment in time and allowing our emotional, which is our waters and our all elements, right? Our storms, thunderstorms that come up, in our heads too. Excuse me. But the storms that arise within the physical vessel, because everything is water. So how does that feel? When you have an uncomfortable feeling, what does that feel like? Does it feel like if you're on a boat and those waters just you were smooth, and then all of a sudden it starts getting windy, storm clouds start coming in, waters start getting a little more choppy and rough, and start, right, knocking the boat a little, make it a little bit more uncomfortable. You gotta hold on. Sometimes there's big, you know, waves. So it's that same kind of feeling that we, right, get inside, depending on the feeling that we're experiencing at that present moment. So it's like being the observer of self while experiencing the experience, and then being able to allow self to have a glass of shut the fuck up, the ego self, when the mind starts running and thoughts are being created and going because feelings came up and now we're uncomfortable, and now here come the thoughts. And then we start scolding ourselves, right? I should have done this, should have done that. What should I do? Da-da-da-da. And then here come the devil and Satan and the adversary and the advocate and even the whole, right? You got a whole peanut gallery going off in your head. And it takes time to learn how to calm, right, the storm and navigate our ship, our vessel, among all the waters, you know, so that we can see more clearly and have transparency And we can only do that by allowing ourselves to have the experience, right? Acknowledge things that are uncomfortable, that are rising up, coming up, because things are gonna really keep coming up. So it's like, here's a funny, maybe a metaphor example. Like, remember I Love Lucy, and like one of the visions, I'm sure everybody knows this one, or most, and not everybody, but when they're with the belt, and I think they're doing like chocolates or something, and she's like popping them in their mouth because they can't keep up with the with the belt of chocolates that's going down the thing. And chocolate's good anyway. So it's kind of like that, right? It's like, so, but it's like all this stuff it's going, okay? But we can't get too distracted by every little piece of chocolate, okay? It's like the right one, because there's no such thing as gravity. I promise. There is no such thing as gravity. It's just beings playing with magnets. The moon, which we only see the one side of, is like a big, what's it called? Gravitron, and then it backs out, right? That's why we only see that one side. And it's like a radio station, okay? Or, well, Saturn, Moon, Uranus, it's like radio station and magnetic frequency waves. And then the moon is like the projection screen, I guess, that's putting the sound out, satellite. And then that goes down to the towers, then down to the buildings, and down to the peoples, and etc. And through the waves, because of the spraying, the aluminum and the mercury, that picks up whatever they're putting out frequency wave-wise, right? Because I love when people keep trying to ask, they want to show them proof of the five sense abilities, right? Like, I want to see it, touch it, taste it, smell it, or feel it. There's 7, because you also have telepathy and intuition, and there's always 7 of everything. Why would we only have 5 senses? 7 chakras. Well, it's 12. There's so many, but so it's just, again, it's when we think we know, there's always more. There's always more depth and more deeper and more. And when we think we got it, there's still always more. So, I'm not here to argue with anybody about who's right or wrong, or whose idea trumps whose, or better, or what, because there's a whole spectrum, right, of duality, not duality, rainbow colors, because it's not just black and white. There's a whole big rainbow. And mixing all the colors together creates gray. So there's a lot of definite gray areas, right, when everything's all mixed up. And it's being able to, I guess, not have to define things, right? I don't have to know, and I don't have to have a definition that's what it is, and that's how it is, or that's why, because there's so many variables that come into play of why something is how it is now, what it could be, where it could go. It's not just 1 and 1 is 2. Multiplication is just faster addition. Right? And numbers scale and multiply and divide and fractal and combine, and that's same with all the elements. So it's like a constant, the only thing that's constant is change. So everything is always in perpetual motion, right? So yeah, I'm just kind of floating around through the ether on here as I'm going. So what else did I want to say? I think I'm going to keep this a little shorty one, and I'm going to do some more card readings and stuff separate, but I just wanted to get on here and wonder if there's more. I hope to see more meteor showers. I'm hoping. Where's my coffee? Yeah, I cleaned my desk / bed off, and I did. It was cleared. Right. So that's another thing, right? Yeah, cleaning out the body. If anybody's been feeling too, like, just cleaning the house, cleaning your car, cleaning whatever, the bathroom, going through the closet, get rid of shit. Ugh, get rid of any clutter. Anything that you don't need, get rid of it. Donate it. The trick is, and it's not a trick, right? When we give, we then receive. But the trick is to not expect, which is tricky because a lot of the time we're so very unconsciously unaware of how much we actually really are expecting, or something. Sometimes it takes time to appear in its 1010 in its form, and so we get little things along the way, and then we can get impatient because we're waiting and expecting. Rabbit ears, devils. Right? Not that rabbits are bad, but one of my girls on the 100 had said a way back, everybody knows the rabbit is the devil. I was like, oh, I didn't know that at that time. So anyhow, so those of you that do, kudos to you. And those of you that don't, now you in the know too. One of the devil animals is the wabbit. So anyhow, but again, not that they're bad. Rabbits are also good. Nothing's all bad. But they just have some little, they got quite a few little trickster stories up their sleeves and stuff and stuffs. Kind of like the coyote and the raven, which is not a crow. Get it straight, people. It's important. Just because things look similar, left hand, right hand, right? Does not mean, right? Can you do the same thing with your left hand that you can do with your right hand? I was born left-handed, but my mother always changed whatever I was picking up into my right hand because she didn't want me to be left-handed. So I used to say it's my mother's fault. I can never make up my mind because I'm supposed to be left-handed and she made me be right-handed. So I really have the opposite brain. So how confusing is that? Right? So it's like I'm ambidextrous in a sense, and mentally, it's like, who knows? I don't even know how to calculate that. So, all right. So thanks, Mom. She started me off early, being confused, so I can learn how to do things the opposite, which is what we're having to do right now. So I'm very grateful for that. You know, doing opposites, you know, because everything we thought is almost opposite. It's like, you ever heard of opposite day? But not so opposite, because this is not a complete pole flip reversal, okay? This is more of a blend, so that we're blending masculine and feminine energies and positive and negative energies and our mother, father, child, self, our inner child, and our nurturing mother, our spiritual mother, our father from above, right? The one that tells us what to do, Saturn, right? Saturn, our heavenly father, our Adam father, because we had someone teach us, you got to brush your teeth, you got it, right? We got how to take care of ourselves, right? So there's all, that's why all the names of all the gods, or all of the ancient, like, all of those things represent either a part of how the mind works, how our minds work, because there was a first, so we're aware of that operation, that programming. And then we can relate it, because that's part of us, to self. And okay, now I understand that part of myself, or why another is possibly acting in a certain manner, or why something is that way, you know, in the world, right? In the collective, right? Because it's a stumbling block, or it's something that people want to not pay attention to or ignore, or because it's been a certain way for so long, right? It's very uncomfortable to change. And the old rule is, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But this dang car, this done been broke a long dang time, right? We've been driving with a donut on the car for a long time and an empty tank of gas. So it's like, and reverse engineered. Talk about Uranus. Which is a lot of the energy with this eclipse as well. What we got? Uranus, Mercury, Capricorn, asteroid Karma, asteroid Pallas, Pallas Athena, Venus and Mars, Venus and Jupiter, excuse me, Venus, Jupiter, and I think squaring Mars, Mars squaring Saturn. So this is a lot. This is what's opposing Black Moon, Lilith. There's so many different right, radio stations that are going to be communing with one another, and this eclipse is going to last, like, we're going to feel the energy from this next 6 months or so, just this eclipse. This is the only lunar eclipse of this year. The next lunar eclipse isn't until, I think, May 26, 2021, I think. So this is like that final cord cutting of all those eclipses we had last year. This is also tying up the September 23rd, not tying up, that's a different choice of words, but connected with the September 23rd of 2017 alignment with Revelations, I think 12. Don't quote me on the numbers of Revelations, because I'm not good at quoting stuff like that. But so this is all with the dragon and the crown. With this is all. See, sometimes it takes time for all of these pieces to add up so that we have the full picture. So it's like the more people, individuals of us learn that it's okay. We don't have to go flying and rush somewhere and be in such a calm down. Learn to be present in your moment and not let ourselves, our own thoughts or emotions take over us, right? Take over. So that then we're living outside of self and we don't know what we're doing at that point. We're running around like chickens with their head cut off, right? Or others. And it's very important as an empath, as a being, as a person, as an individual, as to learn to say no. Right? It's taken me a very long time to learn that practice and to stop saying sorry, which I still do unintentionally a lot. Like, oh, sorry, oh, sorry, oh, sorry. We apologize for everybody and everything all the time. People will be like, stop saying sorry. And I'm like, sorry. Don't. Sorry, I shouldn't have done that. Pretend I didn't do that. I'm joking. Blah, right? Sorry, that wasn't funny. It's like, yeah, to not apologize so much. Again, learning to forgive oneself and forgive others. Because then things aren't that big of a deal. In that moment, it's like, okay, wait, hold on. It's uncomfortable, but it's like, and somebody may be really acting like an asshole, but why? When we or they, anyone else, is in the vibration, right, of fear, either fear of not being right, fear of worrying because we're not sure what's going to come next. Because a lot of the time, too, even when something is unhealthy, this is like in a domestic relationship or an abusive relationship or just everyday stuff. But you can relate this to, why does the abused always stay? Or why do those people get stuck in it? Why don't they just get out of those situations? Why don't they leave? Why? Think about that. Why don't they? Or if they do, why do they go back? First of all, most are so confused in what love is. But secondly, because what is familiar becomes comfortable. Whether it's healthy or unhealthy, we know what to expect. So it becomes, it's like when you just go get in your car and start your car and get ready to go. It's like you kind of don't think, right? You just go. So it's things like that we do that we're so unconscious. So it's like learning. We're not idiots, because we were supposed to be in that programming up until this point in time, because that's how we, to be in ignorance and just be flopping around the earth and oh ha 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 ha, right, as centaurs, drinking, spending money, fucking around, playing, exploring, whatever, right? Some more than others, some chose to take deceitful routes, right? So they have a little bit more karma they got a little more cleaning that they got to do. Yeah. And I love that saying. What is that? If at first what does it go? See, I'm stuck at quoting. That's why I suck at lying. I can never repeat somebody. I try. Yeah, it doesn't work for me. How does it go? Wait, I want to know that saying. Oh, what a tangled web we weave once we have chosen to deceive. Oh, what a tangled web we weave once we have chosen to deceive. So, and then we cannot blame anyone else because we decided, we, as a free will decision, made a decision, even though some didn't feel right, to go against that grain and go against source, go against, we'll say, God's wishes, or the, right, you know when you're not doing something right. And it's not like, oh, so bad, punished forever. Well, again, things need to be acknowledged, though. Isms that we need to get the fuck out of here. And the labels, and the fucking names, and the claiming, and the wanting, and the entitlement. And, it's like, and think about this, too. It's like, you know, to be present is a gift in itself. The greatest gift of all is the immortal body that you now have, which is like the most special tool in your toolbox that you need to take care of. It is the only, you know, it's like spirit's taken care, everything else is just taken care of. You know, we need to take care of our bodies, which also self-heal. You know, when we're in tune, right? Attune. This is atonement. Attune, right? We want to be in tune with the melody so we can be in harmony with all the other energies that we're intrinsically intertwined with. Because we're never alone. Ever, never, never, ever. You know, and I know a lot of people feel really alone right now. You know, me included. I feel there's a lot of, you know, different waves of emotions and things coming in and, you know, presenting themselves in old timelines and storylines and, you know, information coming in to look at, or, you know, and this is constant anyhow, but just particularly now, it's definitely, you know, lots going through, I think, dark night of the soul. I mentioned that in the other video too. You know, it's like there's a lot of us that have already gone through dark night of the soul multiple times. It's not like you go through once and it's like, oh, I already did that. Because if you think you went through and you're good, there's always more. Always, always more. But it becomes not as like it's not as you know, heart-wrenching, and well, sometimes it is, it depends, but it's just you become more used to it, right? Just like anything else, you become more accustomed to the experience because you're more familiar with, you know, oh, this is, you know, chaos going on again. It's like, hold on, don't really pay complete attention, allow things to come up and surface and acknowledge what needs to be acknowledged and allow the rest to pass the fuck on. Right? This is what we call passing away, dying, allowing things to pass away. You know, but you also, it's tricky because we can't avoid the things either that do need attention to, right? Be attentive to details, discernment. So we have to pay attention, right? Attention to certain things and acknowledge them and allow them, you know, and it's like, you know, how is your garden growing? What is your harvest? So the things that come up, it's like, oh, there's a plant. What does that need? A little water? That one needs a little shade. That one needs a little sunlight. That one needs just a little love. And if you talk to your plants, they grow more beautifully too. You know, a little side reel. But and it's so really metaphysics and relating things. However, even if it seems so silly, it's like that's even more important, is to be able to laugh at oneself. So totally laugh away, because that makes us way lighter. And the goal is to become a light being, which doesn't mean you disappear and poof, out of your physical vessel. And I mean, unless you want to just become, you know, water and air and elements again. But I kind of like my body. I kind of like being able to move around in it. And like, you know, once we get used to also, you know, I'll say stopping the clock, stopping time. And it doesn't mean stopping time, because I'm be right, but it means everyone, time and space, like again, understanding what words mean. What does the word time mean? The definition of the word time or space. Because space isn't just outer space. Anything outside of my physical vessel, which again only holds 1/3 of my energy. I don't know if this is the last video or this one, but our body only holds 1/3 of our energy within this vessel. And the other 2/3 plus 1 are floating outside of it. And we are not solid mass. Right? If I put my hand under a microscope, it would be a bunch of little vibrating molecules and particles and atoms. Right? Not solid. So our energy is fluid. Right? So allowing I don't know what the bleep I was just saying. I can get into it, but I anyhow, the energy being in a third of our body, of our energy being in our body. So, but what was I saying that for? Just talking about the water. How quickly I got knocked off. It's okay. But bow. What was that? Come on with that. I don't know. Anyhow, being more able, I guess, to space, time and space. There we are. Tink, tink, tink. Being able to anything outside of myself, that's what I was gonna say, is essentially outer space. So anything outside, you know, this mug is in outer space. You know, it's out of my physical vessel, which is outer space. And there's a lot more space than there is things right in front of us. So again, it's just right perception, our natural perception of, you know, and how we've grown again, and it's not bad or wrong. We were supposed to have everything you've experienced up until this point in time and continuum, you know, is to gather the tools and the information and the experience and all that, so you've got your toolbox with you for this ride right now, you know. So that then now we're incorporating our, say, superpowers, which, you know, it's just now, because it's like, you know, being a child, you gotta learn to crawl before you can learn to walk, etc., right? And And then going to school, you got to go through kindergarten and first grade. You know, if you go to preschool, you got to go through all the steps, you know. And some people stay back, but if you've already passed 5th grade, you're not going to go back into 3rd, are you? Or kindergarten, right? You're not going to go from middle school or junior high back into elementary. Does that make sense? So when I have certain individuals sometimes ask me certain questions about why I will not participate in certain things any longer, it's very difficult to, right, give a logical explanation that they're wanting and expecting to make sense so that they can make sense out of it. You know, but the truth of the matter is, why would I go, right? Why would I go back into nursery school when I've already graduated that, you know, and not like, oh, because I'm here now. No, but again, logically, why would we go backwards? Makes no sense at all. So once we've had an experience, you get the little tap tap, you know, when it's kind of time to move on. And that's what we're getting used to, is the change, right? When it's time to move and it's time to go through another change. Because as we've been living as humans in our 3D experience in nuclear, you know, cell families all smushed together and whatever, and with expectations and got to do this and go to school and go to work and get married and go to college and have kids and whatever, all the thing, right? Go to church, whatever has been programmed. Rabbit ears again, right? Because we all have different programming due to our experience as human mama. But there's so much more. Because our human DNA is only 3% of our DNA. And the word DNA, okay, again, our blood, is not just the blue blood that's inside these veins. Blood is on all that, but because that'll be fun. Because it's not just red and blue blood either. There's a lot of different bloodlines and blood colors and because everything's all mental. So again, when people keep just trying, right, all physical, all about the blood in the body and being stuck in the body and the physical and that's ready Satanism, because this is the material, the meat suit, right? So the blue and the red, reflections and shadows and vapors. So everything we thought we knew, no big deal. But not really. It's like, you know, everything we thought we knew, that's just, again, our ego self. I think I know, I think I can, I'm this, which is we need. Otherwise we wouldn't have it. It's just discerning when to allow, you know, when the right thought comes. It's like, so we're not letting the scattered thoughts direct us or dominate us or run us around. Hello. So yeah.